Hi, Ed Sipler again. This is clip number 8 that we have. Like you said, we have 11 clips. This is the 8th clip on making our nervous system work for us, introducing the polyvagal theory and using it to improve our well-being. Now, part of owning and guiding our nervous system, well, this is the fourth skill we talk about, establishing new autonomic rhythms. Now, we talked about the ladder going up and down. Either we feel safe and connected, we're in that fight or flight, or that freeze, flop, and we're up and down that ladder all day long. So when we notice our states, whether we feel safe and connected, fight or flight, or shut down, we can engage with it, not be engaged by it. That's important. We have a bit of control. So the first step, this is about establishing new autonomic rhythms. Recognize, reflect, regulate, and then create if-then statements. Now, recognize, that's the first step. That autonomic awareness, where we are up and down that ladder, that's a protective factor. Without the ability to recognize the states and the state changes, well, you could be stuck and you're on the risk of being dysregulated. The question is, where am I on that autonomic ladder? So the first step, part of recognize it, is notice it. Where am I? And put a name on it. Don't get bogged down in the story. Just put a name on it. Whatever you decide to call it, that previous work you did. Where am I on that autonomic ladder? Am I in that ventral vagal state, safe and connected? Am I in that fight or flight response? Am I in that freeze, flop, that dorsal vagal state? Maybe you want to give it colors. I'm green, I'm red, I'm blue. Whatever you've decided earlier on what you're going to call it, notice it and name it. Because when you put a name on something, like a feeling, like a thought, but also a state, we can get a bit more control over it. And do this often. With practice, we can get better at doing this quickly and accurately. And you're better doing this in times of calm, that you can recognize it rather than wait until real serious things happen and you're struggling. Just get used to recognizing, notice and name where am I up and down that ladder, and then reflect. Once you notice the name, it becomes easier and more automatic. The next step is listening to what it's telling you. Be curious. Listen with curiosity, not judgment. We're not judging. There is no right or wrong to this. Listen without judgment, and then regulate. Set goals for what do I want to do and what can I use to move me up and down the ladder to get me where I need to be, where I want to be. And then create if-then statements. An if-then statement identifies where, when, how you plan to respond to a situation. And you're creating a link between triggers and responses. I'm in that fight or flight. What can I do to get me out of it? I'm in that freeze flop. What can I do to get me out of it? If then, when I hit this, what am I going to do? This makes it easier to recognize where you are up and down that autonomic ladder. And most important, do something about it. This is page 26 and 27 of the main booklet, but hopefully this gives you enough information, enough understanding. Well, establishing those new rhythms, how I recognize, notice it, name it, reflect, listening to what it's telling you, be curious without judgment, regulate, set goals, have ideas what's going to help me move up and down the ladder, and then if-then statements. When this happens, what am I going to do? Well, thanks very much. Now we're going to move on a key thing in the polyvagal theory, connections. But that's clip number 9. Thanks very much.